Pay close attention, because the next few minutes could rewire how you experience relationships for the rest of your life. This isn't just theory, it's a field guide I've developed after seeing the same heartbreaking patterns play out for over a decade. I'm about to give you 5 phrases, 5 seemingly innocent sentences that are actually coded language. They are cheat codes that reveal a man's core intentions. Once you learn to spot them, ignoring them is like knowingly drinking from a bottle marked with a skull and crossbones. These aren't just warning signs, they're confessions disguised as conversation. And after today, you will hear them everywhere. Make sure you listen through to the end, because the 5th one is the most subtle, the most insidious, and it is the one that silently dismantles a woman's spirit without her even knowing why. It's the single most powerful piece of emotional self-defense you can learn. But first, let's get one thing straight, because it's the foundation for everything that follows. Society has trained most women to be detectives of potential, to look for the good buried under layers of disrespect. We're taught to be healers, not guardians of our own peace. This programming is so deeply ingrained that our built-in alarm system for emotional danger has been muted. And I will call them what they are: emotional architects of insecurity. They use specific verbal patterns to dismantle your boundaries, chip away at your self-worth, and make you feel like you are the problem. Ancient thinkers believed that words are not just sounds, they are vehicles of energy. When someone speaks to you, they are transmitting their internal world, their intentions, their respect, or lack thereof, directly into your system. This is why you can walk away from a conversation feeling exhausted, insecure, or confused, even if the words themselves seemed harmless. Your intuition felt the poison, but your conditioned mind tried to explain it away. What I'm giving you isn't just dating advice. It's a form of energetic hygiene. It's about protecting your life force. Because the man you choose is not just a partner. He is an influence on your career, your mental health, your financial stability, and your relationship with yourself. A wrong choice will cost you years of your vital energy in recovery. A right choice, or more importantly, the skill to swiftly identify and reject the wrong ones, creates the fertile ground for a magnificent life to grow. The first phrase that should have you lacing up your running shoes is, "You're overthinking it," or its close cousins, "You're being too emotional," or "Relax." This is a masterclass in psychological deflection. Its purpose is to invalidate your reality and make you question your own sanity. When a man tells you that your reaction is the problem, he's not making a comment on your mental state. He is announcing his total unwillingness to engage with your feelings. Here's the play-by-play. He's checking to see if you will abandon your own correct perception of an event to make him feel comfortable. He wants to know if you'll silence your intuition to preserve his peace. A man who genuinely respects you doesn't shut your feelings down. He becomes a mirror. He reflects them back with curiosity. He asks, "Help me understand why you feel that way." He wants to see your perspective. When he tells you that your feelings are too much, he is telling you that your authenticity is an inconvenience to him. The real danger here is that this phrase plants a seed of self-doubt. You start policing your own gut feelings, wondering, "Am I crazy? Am I too much?" This is the goal. He wants you disconnected from your internal compass, because that compass is the only thing that will reliably point you away from him. Women who internalize this message spend years trying to reconnect with their own feelings, having been trained to see them as a flaw. This is a quiet form of emotional sabotage, and we've been taught to accept it as normal. It is not. Evolved, healthy men know that a woman's emotional world isn't a problem to be solved, but a landscape to be explored with respect. The second phrase that's a dead giveaway is, "I'm just being brutally honest," typically delivered right after a comment that was needlessly sharp, critical, or demeaning. This phrase is a shield used to disguise cruelty as a noble trait. When someone uses honesty to justify hurting you. They aren't being honest, they're being hostile and then trying to get credit for it. True honesty is a tool for connection, wielded with care. It's like a surgeon's scalpel used precisely and with the intention to heal. This version is a club used to bludgeon your self-esteem. When a man says something cruel and then defends it as honesty, he's showing you he either lacks basic empathy or worse, he enjoys the power of putting you down and wants you to feel bad for being hurt. I've seen this tactic systematically crush a woman's spirit. He'll make cutting remarks about her ambitions, her friends, her body, and when she flinches, he'll say, "What? I'm just telling you the truth." This creates a twisted reality where you start to believe that accepting casual cruelty is a sign of strength, and that asking for kindness is a sign of weakness. Let me be clear, a man who loves you wants to be a source of strength in your life, not a source of pain. Of course, relationships require difficult conversations, but those conversations feel like two people on the same team solving a problem, not one person attacking the other. When honesty is consistently used as an excuse for meanness, he's showing you that he prioritizes his right to be sharp over your need to feel safe. The danger is that we're taught to value realness, but you deserve both honesty and kindness. Honesty without compassion isn't a virtue, it's just malice with good PR. The third phrase that is a 5-alarm fire is when he says, "You're trying to control me," whenever you state a perfectly reasonable need or boundary. This is the classic frame flip. It's designed to make you terrified of advocating for yourself. By labeling your needs as control, he's training you to stop having them. Let's define what a boundary is. A boundary is not a demand. It is not a threat. A boundary is simply the instruction manual for how to love you. When you say, "It's important to me that we communicate if our plans change," or "I'm not okay with being spoken to that way," or "I need to feel like a priority," you are not being a dictator. You are being a good communicator. A man who reflexively calls this controlling is telling you everything you need to know about his character. He is revealing that he sees your needs as an annoying obstacle to his own freedom. He believes his convenience is more important than your emotional safety. This is not the recipe for a partnership. It's the recipe for self-erasure. The tragedy is that women in this dynamic start to shrink. They stop asking for what they need, they swallow their discomfort, and they start performing the role of the cool girl who needs nothing. They don't realize they're abandoning themselves to keep someone who doesn't even value them. Know this: a man who loves you wants to know your instruction manual. He wants to know your boundaries because he wants to succeed at loving you. He sees them not as restrictions, but as the very things that build the trust required for deep intimacy. The men who accuse you of being controlling are the ones who want unlimited access to you on their terms. They want all the perks of a relationship with none of the responsibility. The fourth phrase is a silent killer of self-esteems. "I don't want a serious relationship right now. But," and this is the critical part, he says this while acting in every other way like your boyfriend. He's in constant contact. You spend all your weekends together. You are his primary emotional support. You are physically intimate. He creates a perfect illusion of a relationship, all while holding a verbal get-out-of-jail-free card. This is the ultimate emotional loophole. It's designed to give him 100% of the benefits of your partnership with 0% of the commitment. He gets your time, your body, your loyalty, your support, but he's preemptively absolved himself of any guilt when he decides to leave because, "Hey, I told you what this was." This places you in a psychological vice. If you accept it, you're agreeing to be a placeholder. If you ask for more, he can paint you as needy and claim you broke the rules he set. If you leave, you're tormented by the thought that you might be giving up just before it gets real. But I need you to hear this. When a man truly sees your value and wants to be with you, there is no ambiguity. There is no "let's see what happens." There is only clarity and intention. The men who keep you in this situationship are not confused. They are perfectly clear. They want to keep you in their life without having to fully choose you. This dynamic is so damaging because it forces you to live on a diet of hope while slowly starving your self-worth. You start to internalize the idea that you are not quite enough to be chosen, that you have to audition for a commitment that should be freely given. These men might even care for you in their own way. They enjoy you, but they love their optionality more than they love your heart. They would rather keep you in the painful fog of uncertainty than risk losing you by being truly honest about their lack of long-term intent. And now for the fifth and most destructive phrase, because it attacks the very core of who you are becoming. It's when he looks at you with a hint of disappointment and says, "You've changed." The unspoken part is, "and not for the better." This is a weapon designed to halt your personal evolution. It's intended to make you feel guilty for your own growth and retreat back to a version of yourself that was more convenient for him. When a man uses "you've changed" as a criticism, he is confessing something profound. He wasn't in love with you. He was in love with your potential to accommodate him. Here's what's actually happening. You are finding your voice. You're setting stronger boundaries, getting serious about your career, discovering new passions, or simply becoming more authentically yourself. And instead of being your biggest cheerleader, he feels threatened. Why? Because the previous version of you was more manageable, more compliant, and her world revolved more tightly around his. This is a devastating blow because it targets our fundamental need to be loved for who we are. When your partner suggests your growth is a form of betrayal, it can spark an internal crisis. You wonder, should I stop growing to keep this love? Women abandon therapy, give up on business ideas, and distance themselves from supportive friends because a man made them feel that their expansion was an act of selfishness. But let this sink in. A partner who genuinely loves you doesn't just tolerate your growth, he celebrates it. He is thrilled to see you become more yourself. He knows your evolution doesn't endanger the relationship, it enriches it because you are bringing a more vibrant, whole person to the table. When a man criticizes your change, he's telling you he preferred you when you were less. He is admitting his love was conditional upon you staying small. That isn't love, that is ownership. He wants a pet, not a partner. The most heartbreaking part is that women often take this as proof that they've failed, that their growth broke the relationship. They feel guilty for taking up more space. They start to see their own becoming as an act of destruction, not creation. Now that you have these 5 keys, you might be feeling a storm of emotions. Recognition, anger, sadness, relief. All of it is valid, honor it. But I don't want you to leave here feeling jaded or paranoid. This is about building your discernment. It's about learning to distinguish between men who are invested in your well-being and men who are invested in what you can do for them. It's about finally giving your intuition the microphone. The truth is, there are incredible men out there who would never dream of using this language. Men who see your sensitivity as a superpower. Men who deliver truth with a deep sense of care. Men who thank you for your boundaries because it helps them love you better. Men who commit with a resounding because they know your worth. Men who are your biggest fans as you grow and transform. These men exist, but you will never find them if you are busy making excuses for men who diminish you. You will never be available for them if your energy is tied up trying to convince someone to be kind. Here is your assignment. Start noticing your energy. After you talk to a man in your life, do you feel bigger or smaller, clearer or more confused, energized or drained? Your energy is your most honest advisor. It doesn't lie. Trust that first flicker of something's not right, instead of immediately overriding it. If you catch yourself rehearsing defenses for his behavior, that is your data. If you feel yourself shrinking your personality or your dreams to keep him comfortable, that is your answer. Most of all, understand that walking away from someone who doesn't see your value isn't an act of rejection. It's an act of profound self-love. It is not giving up. It is clearing the space for what you truly deserve. Every minute you spend trying to teach a man your worth is a minute you are unavailable to a man who already knows it. The right person won't make you fight for a spot in their life. The right person will build a space for you right next to them. I want to leave you with a concept that reframed everything for me. Your boundaries are not a fortress to keep people out. They are a filtering system that only allows the right people in. When you are clear about your needs, you are not being high maintenance. You are being a responsible steward of your own heart. The people who protest your boundaries are the very people they are designed to protect you from. The ones who respect them, who want to understand them, who adjust because they care about your experience. Those are your people. They understand that love is not about consumption. It's about mutual flourishing. Every time you honor your feelings, you are teaching the world how to value you. Every time you walk away from a dynamic that belittles you, you are casting a vote for your own worth that echoes into every corner of your life. This isn't about being cold or closed. It's about being sacred with your energy. It's about understanding that your love is a treasure to be invested, not a handout to be given away. Here is the final, most crucial truth I can offer you today. It is not your job to fix people who break you. It is not your job to be a rehabilitation center for men who cannot love with integrity. It is not your job to stay in a situation that dims your light out of some misplaced sense of loyalty. Your purpose is not to be so endlessly patient and understanding that you forget yourself. Your purpose is to be so relentlessly yourself that you become a beacon for the love that is meant for you. That love is also looking for you, but it can only find you when you are standing in your full power, not when you're crouched down, trying to be more convenient for someone else. So the next time you hear one of these 5 phrases, I want you to feel a sense of clarity, not confusion. I want you to breathe, trust yourself, and make a choice that aligns with your highest worth. Because you deserve a love that feels like an expansion, not a cage. You deserve a love that champions your becoming, not one that resents it. You deserve a love that cherishes your sensitivity, not one that uses it against you. Walk away from anyone who makes you doubt your magic. Walk towards everything that reminds you of it. Your future depends on the courage you show today. The right love will not ask you to sacrifice your soul to find it. The right love will feel like coming home. Trust that, choose that, and never ever look back.